Well, the race-swapped Cleopatra so-called documentary done by Netflix is causing absolute destruction and disaster for them day by day. So starting off, they released the trailer here where they featured the race-swapped Cleopatra, and it was absolutely destroyed in ratio. We have 364,000 dislikes to only 28,000 likes. And would you look at that? Comments are turned off. I guess they couldn't take the heat, huh? So we can go on from that. Lawyers in Egypt announced they're going to be suing Netflix for depicting Queen Cleopatra as black and disregarding Egyptian history and disrespecting it. Now, more recently, the Egyptian government has actually come out and said in a statement to Netflix that Cleopatra had whiter skin. Now don't get it twisted, people. It doesn't mean she was white as paper, but she was white in their eyes of what white skin is. Keep that in mind. So they declared she had white skin based on reliefs and statues of the historical figure. And of course, Egypt has been accusing the documentary of blackwashing the country's history, which they're very strong about protecting their culture and history. And it gets even worse for Netflix. We can go on. We've seen there's a trend, apparently, viral campaigns where young Egyptians are creating kind of TikToks and videos and posts kind of making fun of Netflix's Queen Cleopatra and showcasing what she could have really looked like. And that is funny. And I like to see, the youth standing up for their own culture and their country. I can appreciate that as an American. So this article goes on to say that the Egyptian experts and the youth were outraged, claiming that the show falsifies Egyptian history and promotes Afrocentrism. And of course, they bring up the point that in one of the trailers, one of the talking heads said, "I remember what my grandmother said to me. I don't care what they tell you in school, Cleopatra was black." That's a bit of a weird thing, And it's just kind of disrespectful with them calling this a documentary, but they're kind of just changing history for the sake of doing so. Netflix is very famous with race swaps, even in fictional stuff as well. But this is not the end yet, because it's even worse for Netflix. We can go on. Egypt is now challenging Netflix in announcing their own local Cleopatra documentary. So Egypt has announced its own high-budget documentary about Queen Cleopatra VII, challenging Netflix's controversial documentary about the same subject. So the documentary will be produced by newly launched channel AI Wathas Equia. I can't say that, I'm sorry. The documentary, I guess, is the translation, according to an announcement on the channel's Facebook page on April 30th. So the channel is going to be focused on a detailed and accurate view, primarily through sessions with specialists in archaeology, anthropology, and history. So if you're interested in watching the actual historical documentary that is going to focus on history and evidence and facts, this historical documentary has not yet announced when it will air, so we'll have to wait for an update on that. I'm sure they kind of just sort of started their production with the announcement of the Netflix version of it. But this TV channel is apparently a free satellite channel available to all viewers in Egypt under the control of the United Media Services, Egypt's largest media. So that is pretty cool. So I think that's it for news today, pretty much. Pretty interesting stuff. A country standing up for its history and going against people looking to change and rewrite their history. So if at least anything, you can respect people standing up for what they believe in. But nonetheless, guys, let me know what you think of all this. This is certainly bad news for Netflix. I bet they never expected to be in such hot water, and I don't think anyone's really going to be signing up to Netflix just to watch this show. I mean, look at that ratio. Rough. But nonetheless, thank you all for tuning in. May God bless you all. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and they'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.